Heyo, this is Strako, and today we are going to be playing the Duchess. Now we're fighting the Fissure in the Fog Everdark version, so Everdark Caligo. We're going to be doing so with stamina recovery upon landing attacks, increased skill attack power, frost on starting armament, and successive dagger attacks reprise event upon nearby enemies. This is my kind of standard Duchess build. The increased attack power means that if you get a non-dagger weapon, your skill is still very strong and worth using. The frost on your dagger means you can actually fight things early, and it's not horrible feeling. I had the idea for a, this area only challenge, so mountaintop only, crater only, whatever. I think what I want to do is I want to grab these two churches, and then I want to book it over to the mountaintop. There's every single shifting earth, okay, has different small enemies, and it's actually really interesting. The small enemies that they have will drop loot. And I feel like a lot of them aren't known by people because they aren't really marked on the map. Like, the most easy example definitely is the crater. The crater has I don't know what you even call them, like the fat ladies with the fire whips and the hammers. And, killing those will give you an item drop. The mountaintop, Noxtella, or it's not Noxtella, but whatever. All of the other shifting earths have that as well. Except maybe the Scarlet Forest. The Scarlet Forest may not. So what I want to do is I want to get my level 2, because, if I'm going to be doing a challenge video, it's not going to be my first attempt at Everdark Caligo. I'm gonna grab these two churches, and then a third with the tree, and then we will begin clearing out the mountaintop. And if the circle closing forces us to come back, then, well, so be it. As long as it doesn't force us all the way back down to here, I won't be too mad. Now, Caligo is actually probably my favorite visual Night Lord, but I found he's very easy, so I'm excited to see what they did for Everdark, especially if it's going to have a whole new Phase 3. I expect it's probably going to kill me. It's just is what it is. But I hope that I can get enough footage, and I want to do a proper edited video on him, which was the plan initially for Augur, but then the Augur fight was just a Stormroller thing, so I just kind of didn't have the motivation to try to make that seem interesting. The only real interesting thing that happened is I died like 4 times in a row while it was one hit from dying itself, and I was borderline losing my mind. But again, I don't really want to... I want to upload content of me enjoying games, not being mad at them. So I just decided it wasn't worth sharing. Ooh. Something I picked up has successive attacks negates damage. Probably, yep. 30% damage negation on successive attacks. If you were wondering, no, the Duchess's ability actually does not activate successive attack stuff. So if you use your, restage? Yeah, restage. If you use your restage after hitting something a few times, but not enough to have activated the successive attack, please, dude. Not enough to have activated the successive attack thing, it will not work. Successive attacks have to be your attacks, not restage hits. Which is weird, because restage hits do build up status, but hey, I don't make the rules, I just test them. Pro tip for Nightrein, you can always stretch while taking the bird. But for those who like the live commentary stuff, I'm sorry that I kind of took a little bit of a break from it. I unexpectedly had a client from my software engineering programming days reach out and ask if I could do a pretty big project for them. And while chasing dreams is fun, and I am going to keep making the YouTube work to the best of my ability, being able to buy food is also pretty nice. So I didn't make it my focus, but they needed something pretty quick, so I spent the last 3 days just turning that into a solid, it's called the MVP version, minimal viable product. And all it is it's a version of whatever app they want you to make that is intentionally, oh my god, intentionally cut down to include as little as you can manage while still functionally being what they want it to be. And I'm going to probably be working on that intermittently for the next, like, couple, I don't want to say months, but probably, like, the next month or two. Now, I did a big portion of it now, so I shouldn't be, like, it shouldn't be taking up all of my time at this point, but I did have to put in quite a bit of work just to prove that I could do it, and that it would be, like, a possible project. Successful guarding ups poise, gravity well, crystal torrent, successful guarding ups poise. God, I hate that. Improved range weapons, okay. Although this is a bleed weapon here. I might actually just... There we go. So it's pretty... I can't talk about what I'm making exactly, but I can talk about just the process of designing. And it's kind of one of those things where you need to get that proof of concept done quickly for people. And then once you have the proof of concept, they're usually much more pleasant to work with because they know that you're actually, you know, doing it. Ooh, actually, I know what I want to talk about. Because I was considering making a full video on this because this has been a consistent, I suppose, annoyance or fight in the software industry at the moment, at least on my end. And that is people using AI to make quick little mock-up dashboards of whatever they want to make, and then acting as though it is most of the way done, and kind of being like, oh, well, if there's not a lot of work, I don't want to pay you that much, you're not doing much. Dude, it is the most irritating thing. Because for those who don't know, like, designing the look of a web page is such a small portion of the work. Like, such a small portion. Maybe not even, like, 10%. Most of the big money is in... I'm getting shit on by this troll and this rock. I can't beat them. Most of the, like, big money and senior dev work is in setting up the project so that it works. Am I gonna just die? Okay, no, cool. Bro is actually chasing me to the ends of the earth. So, anyway, most of design or development work that's difficult is in not the look of a thing, but in actually wiring it up to work the right way. When you just make a nice looking web page, you've essentially created a car with no internals, a house with no wiring. Like, it looks good if you only stay surface level, but the second you look deeper, it's not doing anything. And it's not like the end of the world frustrating, but it is really annoying having people be like, oh, well, you know, it's mostly done, so can't you do it for less? And it's like, it's not mostly done. It looks good. It looks good, but it's shallow and empty. Like, you're not actually getting anything out of it with how it is right now. I'm trading where I really shouldn't be trading. Do I have any fire weapons? No. I'm pretty sure these guys are immune to bleed, if you're wondering why I'm not bleeding him. Well. Bang. Whoa, that didn't hit me. I love playing Duchess. She's just so fun. Yeah, I made a Dead by Daylight design video, and I'm really happy with how that turned out between the subtitling and everything. I definitely want to make improved charge sorceries, yay. Improved fire damage negation. Yeah, that's what Caligo uses. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, I'm really happy with how that video came out. I definitely want to take the opportunity, if I can, to make a similar styled video. I might even make another video on Dead by Daylight. Like, I enjoy talking about that game's design But I want to do the Balatro video first, and I want to do something on Caligo. Now, kind of filling my content block with like these filler live commentary videos, which are an opportunity to practice delivery and thoughts and speaking. And then the videos that are higher effort that I just can't make very quickly. Ugh. Uh-oh. He almost just got me because of the stealth. That bro is actually putting in the work in right now. Yep, there it goes. I'm dead. I don't get why that Crucible Knight walked all the way from the top of the stairs to here. Anyway, about AI. AI is an incredibly strong tool for programming, and I understand that there's a lot of like controversy and people don't like it because of what it does with art, and I mean, I guess in this case for graphic designers as well, for web design. But like, programming has always been a field in which if you don't keep up with the newest thing, you become irrelevant. Like, that's just kind of a truth of what programming is. So with AI, for programming specifically, it's inevitable that it is going to be used. But what really bothers me is the amount of misunderstandings around it from clients and malicious businesses trying to sell AI as something more than it is. Because it doesn't do a lot of the things that people kind of market it as. Like, what it does is it gives you good general advice, but it gives you general advice. It doesn't actually custom tailor solutions to your specific business on what would be best. It doesn't, like, respond to the current environment and everything. All it can do is give you, this is the advice that, in aggregate, the internet says will work. It also tends to be very, what's the word for it? Affirming. Where it will always tell you, like, oh yeah, you're so right. Oh, of course you can do this. Oh, yes, you can make this. And sometimes I feel like a person in that same situation would be much more like, hey, what are you talking about? That's an entirely different program that you're describing than the one that you're initially asking for. Software development is a occupation where people really don't understand what you do, and because of that, they expect the world. And it used to be that creating the design was what people thought took a long time. Well, now when AI creates the design, they're like, oh, look, it's 90% of the way done. Can't you just fix this up? And it's like, no. No, I can't. Again, back to my metaphor, you've given me a very fancy-looking car with no engine in it, and you're telling me, oh, most of the work is done. It's like, no, I need to connect everything. Like, that's a nice frame, sure. It doesn't do back-end stuff very well. It really struggles to keep coherent, like, this is every data point connection that I'm using, or this is, like, the way that I'm modeling my back-end, this is the stack that we're using. Like, it'll try to mix languages that literally can't mix. Now, some are better than others, but, like, by and large, you need to treat the AI as a tool and give it enough direction that it can either infer what you're doing, or what I do sometimes is I'll actually hard code a little snippet. Well, I say hard code, but I'll code a little snippet, and then I'll give it that little snippet and say, apply this snippet this way. And that's where it really is good. But it's just, it gets really annoying having to argue with people that, like, oh, but the AI did most of it, so shouldn't this be less? And it's like, the AI didn't do most of it. The AI painted you a pretty picture. Like, it's a pretty picture that someone who knows what they're doing could hook stuff up to, but it's not doing that on its own. And anything that, and people who have tried to make that happen, just, it's not there yet. Because AI works off of, taking input that has already been done and turning that input into something slightly new and altered, which ironically is why it is so good at making decent looking art for most people. I know people always get really like, oh no, I can always tell AI art. Okay, well, most people can at this point. But it's because AI, when it is given, like, what is considered good-looking art is pretty standard. I hate this tree spirit sometimes. And art itself is really an amalgamation of patterns. Like, the way that you draw a person in X, Y, or Z style tends to be very similar. I like to use my ult to iframe through this. Just fun. I don't think it's better. It's just fun. I think I got grabbed. Huh. I might be dead. To be honest, my camera freaking out made me think I dodged. Doesn't it? Anyway, in the same way that AI is good-ish at art, because art is a lot of patterns for the most part. Like, the way that you draw a hand is difficult for AI because people will label something a hand, but then have a million different little poses. But, like, the way that you draw a glass of wine is more or less standard. The way that you draw a cat, more or less standard. And it's going to keep getting better at that because people are kind of working out the kinks where it used to struggle. I wanted to go to the mountaintop. But with programming, okay, like, look at it this way. If somebody who's very good at art has AI make the majority of the art and then touches it up to remove the small little imperfections, programming, the imperfections are usually the difference between something working and it not, so you need a level of knowledge in order to debug it and fix it. That's like step one of this problem. So already, if you're trying to tell me you can make a whole application with AI, like, no, you need to know something. Unless it's so basic that I kind of question what you're doing, because you're not going to make money doing a thing that's been done a million times before. Or it's possible that, I guess I'm running into the fortress. Okay, total mind blank here. Maybe it's a Velveting Hunter and I just leave. Ah, it's a Red Wolf of Radagon. I should just leave. Ooh. Alright, I've actually got to focus a little for this dude. I'll go back to talking about AI and programming in a second. Ow. I'm dead. Okay, back to talking about AI and programming. It needs a human intervention in order to actually work, and that human theoretically needs to know what they're doing. But the other problem I have with it is from the onset, it doesn't do backends very well. It will recommend building whatever you want to build in what's most popular, not necessarily what's best for the scope of what you're trying to do. Remember to hydrate. So what that means is you can end up having it tell you, oh, hey, do it this way with these tools. And then halfway through the project, it will start going like, oh, this tool doesn't do this, this, or that. Because it doesn't do a good job with having full context of what you actually need. And people that really support this stuff, like, heavily as part of their, I don't even know, personality might say, like, oh, well, then just write a better prompt. I'm telling you, it's nothing to do. If you can write a prompt good enough for AI to design a cohesive backend for programming, you've essentially already given it the answers in that prompt. I don't understand why the dog starts jumping around like this, by the way. Every time he does, I just hate him. Okay, just chill. I have to dodge, by the way, or this will hit me. There we go. That's kind of the struggle. People are treating it like because there's a graphic interface, it's already half done. And that's just not true. Um, 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 it. Okay. Bro, why? Why are you trolling? Ugh. I already beat you. Get out of here. Again, I guess while I spam the Falling Star Beast with this, although it's being a little bit of a pain, programming is not art. Like, just because something looks good doesn't mean it's actually done in programming. In fact, you're missing probably 90% of the project. Making things look pretty is legitimately what you can put interns on in order to, like, have them learn some stuff about working on a project. Hmm. Sorry, phone went off. Why am I saying that it's inevitable? I knew that was going to stagger, by the way, if you thought I was just lucky. But why am I saying that using AI is inevitable in programming? Well, that's actually because with programming, it is a field where consistently every new innovation that makes it easier is adapted, bar none. And trying to draw the line at AI is just a very arbitrary line. And that's just, honestly, programming isn't a creative field for the most part. I mean, I look at it as a language, but realistically, programming is a field where you get to be very creative, but it's not art. At least, as someone who's done it for 10 years now, it doesn't feel like art to me. So, I don't know. Part of me feels like it's probably not that deep for most people. But when I'm talking about programming, it's the entire history of it is basically a new thing comes out, new thing is easier to do than old thing. People start adapting the new thing, old thing becomes obsolete. Or if not obsolete, it becomes like unnecessary to know, not fluff, but extra. Like, at this point in time, you never need to completely make a, what do you call these things? You never need to make an HTML file and CSS thing by hand. You basically always use some form of automatic, like, styling. So, for instance, Bootstrap is the most popular one, and what Bootstrap is instead of making your files look pretty yourself, you'd give them in the HTML, which is the thing that does your displays, you would just say, hey, use this class, and it would automatically look better. Like, it would do a lot of the styling for you. If you look at any old website, most of them are bootstrapped. Root attack power when two-handing or increased max FP. Improved attack power while two-handing is just better. Yeah, I don't know. The history of programming is just constantly a new thing comes out that makes it significantly easier to do what used to take an entire person a day or two to do. So Bootstrap, I guess let me just summarize real quick. Bootstrap is just, it makes your website look pretty with a lot less effort. Easy. Easy to understand, yeah? So when someone uses AI to make their website look pretty, I don't look at that as like a, oh my god, that's putting a designer out of the job. Like, no, this is just how programming has always been. When a new tool comes out that makes things easier, people use it. And a lot of the market is people fighting to try to make this next new tool. By the way, this guy over here, remember what I talked about, how there are people in every single environment that will give you drops. This knight, right here. I mean, if I could just kill him for real. There we go. Yep, he actually gives a drop. If ever I start nearby this camp, I always like to do this. But, yeah, it's AI is good for some stuff. The people who are acting like it's more than it is are a little frustrating, but on the other hand, I get it. Because a lot of the marketing behind AI is made to make people think that it's a lot more than it is. Oh, by the way, all he drops is like a... Usually it doesn't have a status to it, so it's not as good as normal, but it's still a good way to get a quick little thing. It has strengths and weaknesses. Ugh. Now, ooh, here's a different question. I'm probably going to try and make a Caligo video for tomorrow. I'm going to attempt to do a not get killed by a dragon speedrun. Very cool. But Caligo video for tomorrow, I want to release a full version today, or the next day. And then I was actually thinking about doing a live commentary of a Dead by Daylight match. It'd be a little bit higher octane, and I might do like a couple just to keep it of similar length, but I was trying to think of games where I could talk both about the game and what I'm doing, and also about, like, life and, in general, how I am. And I was like, you know, Dead by Daylight has a good amount of downtime. I mean, I'd probably play Killer because I think it's the more fun role. And, you know, if you're not streaming, I feel like there's no reason to play something else. So there's a way to get very quickly to the top of this mountain. I don't know it. I think maybe this way? Alright, whatever. Let's just climb the mountain normally. It ain't that deep. And I'm in no rush. I do want to get some anti-frost effects, though. Like, very much, so. Zoom. Tis a dog. I don't think those dogs count as bosses, or I'd take them out. But yeah, Dead by Daylight video could be honestly very fun. Man, I do not remember this game being this loud. Ow. I think you could climb up that way somehow, but I don't know the how, so we're just gonna go the long way around. Womp womp. So there used to be a bug in this game where if you activated your ult right before you were going to get hit by like an effect, like frost, specifically this frost actually, it didn't work on anything else, you would avoid the damage. Let's see if that's... Hey, it still works. Yeah, I had a short on this that I removed because I couldn't get that to happen. And then next thing I know, it just came back into the game. So I guess that's a thing again. I hate that attack. I noticed I didn't lose my ult. That's because if you get staggered out of your ult, you don't lose it. I know, crazy, right? But yeah. I won't say, I'll definitely never say don't use AI in your projects, because using AI in your projects is actually incredibly effective. What I will say is, if you try to use AI as a substitute for actually knowing things and knowing the material, it will not end well for you, and you'll most likely end up with a project that is uncompletable. I mean, I assume that any expert in any field feels very similarly, to be honest. It's not that it's bad, it is helpful. I mean, it gives complete beginners a much better understanding than nothing, but it also has weaknesses that they don't notice because AI speaks incredibly confidently. I don't have time to kill this dragon, by the way. And confidence is probably the most important part of selling yourself. And when you read the way that the AI talks about things, it's just like, yes, this is 100% the way that this thing that I don't know anything about works. Believe me, bro. Like, I would never steer you wrong. And you might think, oh, well, people are dumb for falling for that. And it's like, well, it sounds convincing. Bro, there's a reason that being a professional scammer works. It's because when someone sounds convincing and is good at sounding so, they're believed. Also, on the things that are done more often, right? Like the programming tasks that are needed more often. So that goes for design, that goes for like updating a terminal. Sorry, I'm going to throw around some vernacular that isn't basic, completely basic. But like tasks that are commonly needed, AI tends to do extremely well at, because there's dozens of examples of people asking this question, getting an answer, being happy with the answer, and the AI can steal that and use it. It's just when you need to do new things that it just doesn't work. I'm going to actually intentionally die here, by the way. It'll drop my runes about here, but if I go into that circle with 0 healing and then get a rough boss, I'll just be cooked. And I'd like to at least make it to Caligo, because that's what this video is ultimately about. And I will not be making it there if I have to fight, you know, something incredibly difficult while not having any health or healing. Yeah, so take that as a neat little trick you could do in Nightrein, especially good for solos. If you don't have any healing and you'd really rather have some healing for a fight, just die in the storm. It will respawn you in the circle. Ooh. I just realized I have no fire. That's a yikes. My ghost staggered him. Well, because I have 2 warming stones. Do I have a cerulean? What on earth healed me? Ah. Beware, fatty. You can't hurt me. Ow. Oh, I don't have any physical negation ups. That's rough. I also didn't buy any wending. I am trolling. That's what happens when you spend a while being a productive member of society, working a normal job as opposed to playing video games. You end up forgetting how to be good at the games pretty quick. I think it's fine though, it's just a Godskin Noble. He can't hurt me. I'm so bad for that. Sorry, I know I could have got the riposte, but just the fact that I wasted my bleed proc by double hitting nothing put me into a state of stun. Hey! I'm invisible, stop it. Alright. So I have Gravity Well and Crystal Torrent along with Improved Charge Sorceries. Maybe let's put that to work. Let's see how good it is. Or not. Come on. Whoa. Stop it. I think my weapon art is a little bit better. If you're ever struggling with these guys, by the way, just kind of try to keep them separate. It's like a crappier version of Ornstein and Smo. But usually the big guy will run after you, and the little guy will just stand back and throw an occasional fireball. I didn't get my second dodge off. There we go. The Godskin Noble specifically poise breaks very easily, which is why I'm running this. Replay. Now, in base Elden Ring, this actually does a lot of poise damage, so I wonder if it does here. Maybe not. Oh, am I dead? I don't know. I have no clue what this attack is. Every time he uses it, like, theoretically, it says it's a grab, right? But... Theoretically, it says it's a grab, but I don't know how it can grab you. Okay, I need to check what gives HP restoration on backstabs. I'm getting really confused. I think it has to be this weapon. Ooh, I almost said reading chat. I was just literally in my own thoughts. Okay, that has to be a grab, right? Snake. But... I'm dead? He's dead. HP restoration? Does it do both? Why is my HP coming back when I get crit? Oh, right, because I got the power up. Alright, improved physical damage negation. Yes, please. Now, remember what I said. Let's just go grab our runes so that I'm not a loser. And let's see this Caligo. I mean, at the end of the day, he can't be more lame than Augur. Augur was a nice spectacle, but I had no desire to refight him. I don't know, alien thing. I guess what I'm saying is if you're getting into programming, use AI for things to look pretty. Everybody will. Learn how to actually build something, as in, if you want to take notes because you want to be in comp sci or something. Setting up a server, which usually a server is just software that you run on your computer that you can link to these files. AI will help you set one up because, again, this is a task that you have to do all of the time, so it's pretty good at it. So, like, that's number one. It would have been cool to have used any of those. That's probably good. And number two, how to connect a database to that server, and then use that database to save information on your display. If you can make that happen, so set up a database, connect a server to it, have a front end that can send data to it, and then displays data from it, you will have a very solid foundation on the basics of building something. Talking about how to actually get started on teaching yourself development would be probably like an hour-and-a-half long video, but that's just the basics. That'll point you in the right direction for where it's going. If you just want to make something pretty, I'd recommend asking ChatGPT, like, hey, could you make a basic HTML file for me for a website? And then explain to me what it's doing and how to display it on my computer for testing. Because, yeah, it'll help. Alright, let's actually appreciate Caligo now. That's enough rambling about this. So, for Caligo, typically you'd want a fire weapon. He will always begin the fight by aura farming on you. Glad to see that hasn't changed. Since I don't have anything that is... You will always want fire in this fight as well. Now, since I don't have fire, you may be saying, is just hitting it really hard okay? I don't know, I've never fought it before. Let's go find him. Should just be walk straight. Oh, Aura Farm Dragon, what's up? I guess I'm dodging this now. Man, Duchess really makes that a lot easier. Remember, he shoots more. Yikes. Ow. I think I sprinted instead of dodged. Oop. Run away! Dash through. Ow. Okay. We're doing fine. Oof, there we go. Now, if you're wondering, I'm willing to let myself die here because I don't want to waste 2 flasks healing. Oh, that was not what I wanted to do. I wanted the dagger. There we go. Now, you might think this is goofy. That's because it kind of is. But, you see, I wanted the damage negation from hitting him. Alright. Now the real fight begins. Ow. Fire helps a lot here. I don't know what this is, but I do not like it. Whoa! Oh! Hey! The hell? Where do I go? Well, the frostbite trick still works in this. I'm sorry, is the arena going to be permanently frostbiting me? Is that what is happening here? Dodge it! Oh, that shoots moonlight blades. That's really cool. Where's my damage at? Oh my, I bet you if I don't have fire, I can't break these crystals and he takes massively reduced damage. Oh boy. Oh, that's a tail smash if I've ever seen one. Whoa. Okay, so you can break it with damage. Oh, that's rude. Okay, bro. Dude. Oh, that replay lagged my game. Hey, he bled. Well, that's a little bit rough. Okay, so I don't know what I was supposed to do to avoid getting killed there. I guess I have a fire weapon. Or, die. My very next run went much better, and let me just say, yes, fire damage makes a massive difference. My only concern is my fire damage isn't that high, but let's do it. Zoom. That's some damage. There's the fire debuff I wanted. Okay, so this attack repeatedly one-shot me in my first attempt, and now I'm just face-tanking through it because I'm a higher level. Which isn't exactly how I want to win, but, like, pretty cool. This explodes. Ow. We'll heal up, why not? And we'll pop this. I dodged that. Oh, there was a thing behind me. It looks very pretty. Whoosh. Whoa. I feel like he has a phase 3 because this was so quick. Alright. Well, that run happened. Frostbite in vicinity conceals self. Starting armament inflicts frost. Improved physical damage negation. That might be the first one ever that just straight up has improved physical damage negation. Like, I don't think that's a normal thing that your relics can roll with. We're going to do a few more runs. I'm going to try and get some better footage of fighting him. And hopefully I can make a pretty decent video out of him. If nothing else, he is a lot cooler than Augur was. Very, very hard, though. Or at least very easy for him to just insta-kill you. Alright. Yeah, bow down to our soon-to-be AI overlords, and until next time, see ya. That wasn't the right tone. And until next time, see ya. See ya. You know, this is how a lot of my, like, not live commentaries go. I'll say the same thing like 30 times because I'm trying to get it right and it just feels weird. And then I'll listen back and my very first take was the best. Yeah, pretty fun. Alright, for real, see ya.